Okay, the first thing on our agenda is the old Bridgewater Place project on Belmont Street. Walter Herman. Come right up here and we'll move our candy.
My client's with me, Bill Adams.
Yep. Hi, Tony. How are you?
Very good, thanks. How are we tonight, gentlemen?
Good, and you?
Good. It's the best sheet that shows the proposed project all in one plan. We have two buildings here, building A and B proposed. It's all under a comprehensive permit, 40B permit, and these are apartment buildings with 54 units. They have an anticipated sewage flow of a little under 10,000 gallons per day. I would expect the water demand to be about the same. We haven't discussed anything about irrigation. I'm not sure what additional water would be requested. We have a 6-inch water main proposed coming off of the existing 6-inch main in the street, and it does loop all the way around the entire two buildings. The fire department, I believe the fire department had asked us if we could include that, as well as additional hydrants. We have several hydrants proposed on the corners and in the middle of the project.
Building's going to be sprinkled?
That's correct, sir. Yes.
The 6-inch going to take care of the fire protection?
Fire protection engineer hasn't completed the design, but he has indicated to my client that it is
based on the flow test that we just did Thursday. He said he's seen a lot worse, and he said he can design to make that work.
Okay.
He talked about a tank and talked about a pump.
Because we're not sure if we got that main, that's just a 6-inch. It starts right out here at the top of the hill, and it goes all the way down Matfield Street, then up Belmont Street. And we weren't sure if the fire protection was, if we're going to have enough flow there to put out a fire.
Right.
With sprinkler system.
Right. Well, he said based on the flow test that they just did, it's 580 gallons, I guess, per minute or whatever, that he can design to meet that, to accommodate the sprinkler system, for the type of system that it's going to be. So I need him to design that. He's the engineer. But he talked about, can be accommodated, maybe need a tank. He said definitely need a pump. So
see, that's something that will create a vacuum on the system, and that'll cause problems upstream when whenever they start that pump up, a lot of dirty water, and that people on the street may have reduced water pressure whenever you're doing your sprinkler tests and that. They were always, we have one on Manley Street. We have a pump up there for where the tire company is. And that one there sets off everybody's sprinkler alarms and everything when they start that pump up. And they have to test it like every year. They go out to bid for the insurances and that. Probably doesn't now because we have the extra tank now and it gets flow from both directions on the 12. But years ago, we used to have lots of problems.
well, he said it may require a tank. He said the tank would
Yeah, suction.
You see, tanks are nothing but a problem too.
Right.
How you gonna
They
keep?
do the flow test right up by,
Right next door. Like a hydrant here.
Right next to the swimming pool, there's a hydrant. Not this one, it's the next one.
It's right in front of this property. And they
Tanks
up here, they tested way up here, around almost 2 kilometers in over hydrant.
Yep.
That's where they put the gauge.
Yep.
And they said that that's the end of the system, and that's usually why the pressure is what it is now.
So there was a 70 PSI static at the street, and then the residual went down to 10. When you test.
from running one hydrant?
When they're running one,
How much flow did they get out of that hydrant?
I'm not sure if they're running, we only had one hydrant open, I wasn't there for the test, but
It said 580
gallons per minute.
gallons. per
But they
minute.
dropped us to 10 back here, you can't have 580 gallons a minute.
All right, well, it was 15, they had 3 different numbers on there. Actually, I can pull it up.
The wonders of phones.
That's really low.
You don't want it under 20.
I was gonna say, I've never seen it drop lower than 30.
Was anybody there from the water department during the test, Wayne?
Yeah, we were all there.
Do you remember the numbers of what we had going?
I didn't see the numbers because you can only be in so many spots at
Yeah.
one time, but they tested up at the corner of Plain and Belmont, and then they ran the hydrant right in front of where he's actually gonna be.
Yep. The end of Plain and Belmont dead end there, or that's the?
No, that's it, goes up Plain.
It goes up Plain Street and it ends at the town line.
Okay.
But from there on, it's all.
But it doesn't move back.
No,
No.
there's no loop back.
No, it just goes up, takes a left and goes up and dead ends up here. If you put a tank in there, how would you keep that from freezing?
I don't know. I have to talk to the fire protection engineer. I don't do it.
Probably in the basement of the building or something.
No, probably be outdoors, a big tank. you're not gonna put it in
If
the
you look
basement.
at the Lowe's one, it's outdoors and they.
Yeah, they heat it with electricity.
Yeah.
Sometimes they heat them with a diesel engine and they have
I honestly don't know. I gotta talk to the guy about
the
that.
furnaces.
We haven't even had one
Yeah.
conversation, so.
Figure that part's your problem. We want to make sure we don't draw anything down too low enough. And usually 20 is bare bones.
20 is the legal.
What you come out with for estimating what you can provide. Where that other hydrant was up much higher than this?
No, it's
Pretty
just
much
up
the
around the
same.
corner, it's. No,
So about the same.
elevation wise, maybe 5 feet.
Yeah, so, because if you're pulling that down that low, by the time you run around that 6-inch loop even, that's not going to give you, you're going to lose a fair amount trying to draw that through that line.
That was the test here. 580 gallons per minute, PSI 12, static PSI 70.
So
What's the gentleman's name again?
we'd want to see that up at least at 20, that's going to cut that
Works
down.
with social
You
engineering.
might need to do something in here on Belmont
It's
Street.
getting 500 gallons a minute. Did they do it to the sprinkler or the 2.5? Did they do it out of the
2.5.
steamer?
The 2.5.
The 2.5?
Well, if you had that low pressure ends up in the street, you wouldn't even fill up the stupid steamer port at that point. It'd be barely,
I know.
Wouldn't be
That's
a-
why I was trying to think how they got that much water, and there's only, and if it dropped it down to 10 or 12 pounds, and you run it 500 gallons a minute, how could you get that out of 2.5?
well, the 10's out
10
off
is
here,
beyond
he's
it.
still going to have pressure. He's going to have pressure in the hydrant
The
there.
10 was up here, the 12's down here.
No, the 10,
No.
10's up here, they were flowing the hydrant here, they measured off the 12 would have been out of the nozzle of the hydrant,
So what
Or
was
the way
what was
it's
the
made.
pressure there then?
coming out of the hydrant, 12. I would
12.
think from what that shows.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So it's only 12 pounds, but he was getting, I don't know how you get 580 gallons a minute at 12 pounds pressure out of a 2.5-inch hole. How do you do that?
Okay, do they have both of them open?
No, just one.
I can't, that's crazy. Well, we got a,
Tap the pressure gauge sometimes. You watch the needle free up.
we've got a new model done. We just paid to have it done. I think we ought to look at the computer model and see what we can deliver down there. See how many gallons per minute. You have your engineer tell us what he's gonna need here for fire protection.
Right.
And then whatever he thinks he's gonna need for tanks and that, and where, type of tank, if it's gonna be outdoors, steel,
Right.
what the construction's gonna be, because
Right.
we've seen some pretty outrageous things that people, it costs a fortune to keep.
Well, he told me, he said, that, you know, what he said to me was, he said, the 580 is not the end of the world. He said, I've had to deal with a lot less than that to make it work. So he said, it's not the greatest. He said, it'd be nice to have 1,000. He said, but 580, he said, we can make it work.
Yeah, zone off the sprinkler
So,
system.
he only got the information Thursday
Yeah.
afternoon, so it's kind of short notice.
Okay.
You haven't designed anything or.
Right. Did you check with our engineers yet and get a price on what they would charge us to run that in the computer model?
I have not, but I can give them a call tomorrow and see.
Okay, we'll get a price, see what they charge us to see if that 6-inch from here at the top of the hill is gonna feed that with what you need down there. You guys in favor of that?
Yeah.
Do you gentlemen know if there's any tuberculation in that line right now?
No.
No.
We don't have anything in our pipes.
Nobody's got like a recent coupon or a nearby project?
See those all right there? Look along the window.
No, I think even when they were doing the testing, I think they found the condition of
This is-
the pipes was different.
This is how clean our pipes are. These are 100 years, this one here is probably 100 years old. That one there is about 40 years old. There's nothing in them.
Well,
That's it. And that's a lining on the pipe that you see there with a little bit of black manganese stuck to it.
Yeah, so no mortar line, just steel or cast iron?
It's cast iron.
Yeah.
And there's a lining in there, but but that's just black manganese on there.
Is it
But
mortar lining on it?
No, there's no mortar lining, it's just a line, it's just what's settled off into it
Oh, okay.
over time for the manganese,
incrustation,
yeah.
That's the most we ever see. This one here is a 16-inch main.
No, that's
That one
fantastic.
there's 40 years old.
Because the tuberculation is not really so much a problem with the mortar line pipes that are like 50 to 100 years old. But if they don't have that, it becomes a problem, yeah.
No, we use
Not to have it. That's
we've used
very good.
C5 for 60 years. We cleaned them all off years ago.
Great.
We used to pig them years ago, and ours were all closed down. 6-inch mains, they say we're down to 2 inches. We used to pig them, you used to have to cut the main, take a fire truck and blow the razor blade pigs through them. And they started using C5 and they fluffed that all off. And it's all gone. No,
So as far as we know, we think the 6-inch line is
6-inch, yeah.
good.
It should be.
Oh, yeah, because I cut all new gate valves in that main all the way down through there. And when we cut an old gate out, we take it right out and you can see right up through the pipe and they're wide open.
that's good.
Yeah. But I'm just not sure with friction loss on a 6-inch pipe, with the size of that complex, what you're gonna need. It takes, you gotta find out from the engineer what you're gonna need per minute. And then we gotta take care of all those houses along the way when you are drawing the water too. We also got another problem. We're pumping right to our full capacity right now. So we're running short on water. So we gotta take that into consideration too. So,
Are all the wells active? You have all the pumps working? Nothing's down at the moment? And you're at 100%?
yep. And we're just starting to try to get another well built. We're probably 5 years out. So we're in trouble. And DEP saying they want us to search. We have places where we know we could drill and build a well, but they want us to look at all the other sites that possibility might be other basins that might be better. So you gotta eliminate them before you can use the ones you know you have. So,
The nearby, your nearby well field, right on the other side of the Salisbury?
yep, it's right here.
They all gravel packed wells?
Yep.
About how deep, do you know?
Here they're probably around,
60 feet.
no, they're not even that. They're 30 here. They're probably 40 over the other end of the sand pit, and they're probably 50 over on Norman Avenue. The granite, the stone that the gravel all sits on tapers that way there toward Pinecrest Road.
So nearest to Salisbury, they'd be probably 30 feet.
Yeah, they get shallower as they go up. Yeah. They say the Salisbury actually feeds into the gravel and recharges, and there's a big filter, and it recharges our water supply. That's what they say.
Is that year round or?
Yep. All our records show what it is. If you look at the water table, it tapers that way.
Yeah.
So we've done lots of pump tests. We've got 1, 2, and then we've done tons, probably 15 pump tests out through the area. If we get closer to the Salisbury and we drill, there's a 500 gallon a minute well down there, but they wanted to lengthen the length of the pump test to see if we ever pulled in any contaminated water from the Salisbury.
Okay.
But they weren't worried about it here because we're 1,000 feet away, you know.
But right now, the Salisbury actually contributes to the wells? I always thought it was the other way around. I thought the well field.
No, not now, not when we're drawing water.
Right.
Not when we're drawing water, the water table's lower here than it is up there.
Years ago, I thought I recalled it was.
Well, years ago it probably was, because when we drilled this,
25 years maybe?
when we drilled the well out here, there was wild cranberries growing around the well, but they're not growing there now because the water table's lower now that we're pulling water out. It used to flood in the wintertime. This time of year, that part of the sand pit would be flooded. But there's a well there now, so now the water table's down 10 feet.
Do you have any good prospects for other areas in town where you might be exploring water supply?
We bought the Rotary Farm for the future, but they don't want us to use that one. They want us to look at other sites first. That's what our engineer told us. But we already own that one. We can use that one, but we got to get permission from them. I mean, we bought the land. We have enough space there to plunk a well, but we got to get through the permitting process, which is time and money.
Right.
So
you're doing 2-inch domestic into each building?
Probably that's how it's
One-
proposed.
What kind of 6-inch pipe are we using?
I don't know.
What kind of fixtures?
What kind of 6-inch water main are you using? Ductile iron or plastic?
Probably iron, right?
We're probably gonna go with the iron, but I'm gonna talk to the fire protection engineer and see what
With the
his
reference?
recommendation's gonna be.
Okay.
What about metering? What do we require for metering, Wayne? How did we do the last one?
No, if it's got 2-inch, that's up to them, but it's...
Just 1 meter in each
Yeah,
building?
1 meter in each building.
Right, is that what we did,
Yeah, at the place, yeah, River Bend.
1 meter per building?
Yep.
What size pipe is in front of the riverbed? Is that 6-inch also?
It's 12.
12?
yeah, runs right down from here, runs down East Street, takes it right up to the center.
And how far does it go down, does it go on Plain Street?
Yeah, it goes down, it kind of, it just, there's a little spurt that goes out of here, picks up that house on the corner.
Yeah.
And then it goes down Plain Street, right to the town line.
Yeah.
And then there's a blow off up there, as it's dead ended. And it
Yeah.
goes into the manhole up there.
How much are you guys pumping a day?
1 million gallons, ballpark?
Yeah, we used to, just a couple of years ago, we were doing 600,000 average.
Yeah, about 650.
And on Christmas Eve, he said he pumped 1,800,000. Figure that out in the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Really?
Yeah.
1,800,000 on Christmas Eve.
And the town's developing houses everywhere too, right? So,
Yeah, we haven't put enough new houses in to make that difference, so.
yeah.
It isn't that much. We have other issues we have to work out.
Are there any leaks in the
So,
system?
like I said, we have other issues we have to work on right now that, doesn't really relate to what we have going on here. But this is
Well, they haven't shown up yet. Nobody's got their feet wet.
My feet wet every time I walk up in the backyard this year.
Yeah.
Good place for a while.
And every 3 days it gets recharged.
So how are we gonna leave it? We're gonna get in touch with Tater and Howard and have them run the model on this?
I'll see how
Get it, see what they're gonna charge to do it. We wanna know what's available out in front of that entrance at 20 pounds, even
Yeah.
20, probably even 25 pounds, because he's gonna need that inside. And he's gonna lose some down that 6-inch line.
And we'll put this into our system analysis and see what comes up with.
Yeah. And then
Shouldn't take
we'll tell them what he's gonna charge us, and then you gotta get more information from the fire sprinkler engineer.
Yeah,
So we know that, you know, our engineer's gonna need more information on what the demand's gonna be. So
Right.
there's
we'll put them together.
yeah, we'll put all we'll tell you what everything will cost and what, it shouldn't be a big, it shouldn't be a big number because we've already done the model.
Right.
All he's gotta do is plug in numbers. So it's just gonna be, you know, engineering, you know, hours of work, that's it.
Right,
It's not, he has to build a model or anything, we've already built it.
yeah.
That's what we built it for,
Right.
you know?
You said just under 10,000 a day.
Yes, yeah. We have two septic fields over here. Tony, you're probably more familiar with this, right? We have 2 septic systems on this side of the project. Each one's a little shy of 5,000 gallons per day. 2 fields, right?
You're going on this side, huh?
That happen to be the best soils. on the
Really?
project, Right around this area.
Because when I walked that one years, no, 3 years ago, they were talking about putting them over in here, but it doesn't matter to me. Anyway,
You gotta get
Doesn't matter to
that
me, I was
much
just
water, you
surprised
gotta
we were
find the
on
best
that side.
place to put it.
We've done a lot of exploration with test pits out there, confirmed.
Is that all sand out there?
No, not all sand, no.
No.
Actually, there's different places.
It varies. There's some rather hard material that can have a 5-minute per inch perforate or 22. It just varies.
No kidding.
If you're driving a shovel and a bar through it and it looks, you know, rocky, you think it's going to be fantastic, and there's just enough sill to hold it back a little
Yeah.
bit. Then the other tests, I could barely keep water in the hole.
Because if you go that way toward the Salisbury and you get on this side of it, it's all gravel. Those hills are just pure gravel.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, because the soil types in this area, they described it as a muck. Then they said underlying sand and gravel. And I said, well, it doesn't mean no good, it's out in the wetlands.
Right.
I believe it.
Right.
I don't know the information, but it's out there.
Well, that's like our pits here. These sand pits used to fill up with water.
Right,
And it was the water table.
right,
And, you know, so when we started drawing water out through the wells, the water table just went down, so you don't have those little flooded areas. You know, it used to be hills, and Kelleher pulled all the gravel out of here, and he went down some areas right to the hip water, you know?
right.
So we'll wait for an estimate from your engineer to do that study.
Yeah, he'll call them up and ask him how many hours he thinks it'll be or whatever, and we'll give you a number.
Okay.
And, but we're gonna need more information before he's gonna be able to start from you guys.
Yeah,
And then we'll work together and see if there's enough water there.
okay.
Any other questions?
We're only worried about the water, I guess.
That's all that we cover. It's the water.
What's that 8-inch right there? Is that drainage?
Drain, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
roof drain.
Okay.
Connecting all the roof drains to get that out back.
Yeah.
Size of the roof drains, very important. Very important stuff. I don't know if they're gonna make me an 8-inch flat-end swell though. I haven't found one yet. They're all 12 inches. I think they're just gonna leave the pipe and shave it.
No, put a 12-inch and just use an eccentric reducer and drop it down to an 8, so you can keep your invert where it has to be. Just shave the end of the pipe like that. All that happens is it ends up getting filled in and buried over time.
Any other questions?
No?
Me neither. Give us some more information, and Wayne will, you have a card so we can basically call you?
Definitely. There you go.
All right, thank you for coming in.
All right, John,
Thank you very much.
appreciate it.
You gonna take this or leave this with us?
I'll take it,
Okay.
unless you want it.
No, I don't think we need to do it. You want it?
And think much is gonna change layout-wise or anything?
I'm not sure.
Probably don't know yet, but you already know what you got for a tank.
It depends on the fire protection engineer, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll need an updated set, oh, it's on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There'll
Yeah.
be more revisions down.
We'll be talking again.
That'll be a
Yeah,
problem.
I already gave him everything, he's on Thursday afternoon, so, he's working on it.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds good.
all right.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Wayne, what do you got on the DPW plow, the snow pusher, and the F800?
All right, so the snow pusher, so I let them know if it snowed before we met, if you guys were leaning towards not loaning them the equipment. They came back, all they really want is the pusher. Because they bought their big 10-wheelers, they can only load them with the big front-end loader, so that I think their pusher is part of that unit. So I told them that they could borrow it. I can do without it for one season. We're about halfway through the season now. I
So
asked
they'll
them-
put that on their backhoe, is that the idea?
Yeah. And then I asked them if there was a plan in place so that this isn't a continue, so that next year they're on their own again, and they indicated yes. Right now, they sent the F800 out. They were looking to get a new plow fitted on it, and I warned them that at some point we may look to replace that because it's costing us a lot of money to keep it running. So it went up to, can't think of the name of the place, but it's been gone for 2 weeks now. And it's kind of nice not having it in the garage. We can park with ease.
So,
Why are they sending that out?
Well, the piston needs to be rebuilt, or they're gonna try to, I think they have a plow blade they're trying to use, and nobody else would look at it. It's the place on,
Guys on
it used to be near Whitman, the ice cream place, but they moved down the road.
Oh, toll road?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, toll road.
so who's paying for all that, the highway through
Yeah.
the snow budget?
Yes.
That's good.
And I told them if, as long as it's out, if I have a problem, they have to give me a big truck, 'cause
Right. Okay.
And you're fine with not having the pusher?
I can do without it. I mean, it's a really big convenience here because you're pushing more area, but I can, one season we can do it, I'll make do. We may do before we ever had it. It's a blessing to have it, but we can make it yet.
Power outages.
So we had a power outage and it was contained basically to like my house, the North Elm Street tanks. It was a small area that took a power outage on Friday before Christmas, and it took out the PLC in the tank. So what's happening is when the power goes out, it has a generator, but the generator's kicking in before the PLC powers all the way down. So when the generator kicks in and it turns the PLC back on, it wipes the program, and it fried the PLC.
Oh, Jesus.
So the UPS systems aren't auto start anymore, and that's what it needs. So I bought one, but it's gigantic, so we're gonna try to figure out how to get it in. I asked them if they have a smaller one, but its footprint isn't that much smaller. But they're $800 a piece, and all of our stations should actually have them. What happened is the old units used to auto start. The new units don't auto start anymore.
Really?
Yeah. So that's, all of our stations really need them to protect the PLCs and their programs. So we need about 8 of them at about $800 a piece. So we'll test the first one to see how it goes and move on from there.
Well, put it in the budget if you, for this coming year, if you if it works out, we need it.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna do us any good if the
we've been
wells
pretty
don't
lucky.
come back up online, and then we have a power outage and we run out of water.
Right, I mean, we were pretty lucky. I worked with Mike, and Mike works with me, and we rebuilt that PLC at the tank now. I think this is its third time. So the next hit, we'll be replacing the PLC. I think I'm burned through his spare parts.
All right. Okay, special town meeting?
So that's still.
Oh, no, wait a minute, I'm sorry, Rotary Farm.
I didn't put that one on there.
Rotary Farm, we're out to bid, it says?
I didn't put that one on there.
Karen?
I did. I asked for that to be put on there. Is it out to bid yet, or?
I got a question on that. I talked to Billy Coy. He's still haying it, and he's interested in haying it. Why are we doing anything?
Because other people are interested in it, and you can't just give it to somebody.
Well, Billy was doing it back when nobody else would do it,
No.
and he got the job done for us. And now, all of a sudden, we're gonna take it away from him?
Those are called sweetheart deals, and you can't do those. It's against the ethics law. If there's something that is out there that's available through the public, it's got to be made available to everybody. It can't be just given to your friend. So we
I
have
don't
to
think
do
it was
it.
anybody's friend, and I wasn't on the board at the time, Rick. That was something you guys did, but
Because
he
at the
couldn't find
time, there was
anybody to
nobody.
He couldn't find anybody to hay it, and he hayed it and got it done.
That's right.
And now all of a sudden, out of the blue, somebody wants to do it,
No.
and you want to take it away from
No.
them. So I think there's a
No.
little dirty politics going on.
No, there isn't any dirty.
I think there is.
Well, good. Well, why don't you call the ethics board and ask them what you should do?
Why don't you call him? You're the ethics.
Yeah.
You got him on speed
You're
dial.
done right.
All right, we're getting
I'll get
away-
them on
we're
speed
getting away
dial,
from topic.
and I will call
Go
them,
ahead, why
okay?
don't you call him and let us know?
I'll call them,
You
and
get
I'll,
right on the phone, Rick.
I will.
All right.
I'll call them, because
I know
it
you
should
will.
be going
You're
out
pretty
to
good
bid.
at it.
I am, I'm
We're
real
off
good at
topic.
it. Because
We're
when you're
off
breaking the
topic.
law, you're breaking the law.
Okay, let us
And
know.
you're good at that, Tom.
Oh, really?
And you got a nice $6,000 fine over it too, didn't you?
All right, well, way
Yeah.
off topic.
Yeah. So, and you called on me too, and what did I get? Nothing.
We need to bring this back down to the things that we're supposed to be talking about.
Okay. So I'm suggesting, I'm gonna put it out for a vote, that we go out to vote, we go out to bid on that hayfield,
So,
okay?
Didn't we
Just
all-
put it out there, offer it to anybody in town that wants to bid on it.
I think we already went through that and we had voted to set it, but only to only the farmers in town.
all right, so I'll approach.
Check back in the minutes, I'm pretty sure we actually
We
had
did,
that
and
vote.
it
I
never
believe
got
it's
done.
voted in.
What is it?
I believe they already voted to do it at a prior meeting.
I think we were gonna check with Billy and see what the story was.
No, there was nothing discussed with that. Check the minutes. We were gonna go out to bid, and anybody who was interested from town, who was interested in haying it, we'd just do it legal.
So the other question I have, let me look next. So currently, somebody's allowing them to turn it into a field track. I don't know who did that, but it wasn't me. But anybody who's gonna be haying it,
Somebody told me that was the high school cross-country team that
yeah, they're
requested.
using it, right, so.
I have no idea who they talked to, and I don't know who's mowing it.
So, I know who's mowing it now, but is that, so when I tell people that they're gonna be able to bid on this, do I tell them that this track is gonna be in the middle of the whole thing?
If we're bidding it out to people, we let them hay the field. If the
Yeah.
cross-country team wants to run on it, they can put out some stakes or something for a course. We don't have to mow paths through the field. I mean, because that's not if you're gonna be asking somebody to actually.
Well, you can't, if you're gonna go through with your, I don't know how a hand machine works, but I know what happens when my lawnmower hits a stake. It costs me a lot of money.
Who's mowing that in there
No,
now?
you're not
I
haying
think
it every
Billy
week.
does.
Billy Coy?
Yeah,
For the track team?
yeah. They asked him and he did it.
But I mean, you're only haying that once or twice a year.
Right.
So you hay it, and they put in the stakes for when they're running it, and then probably
Right, what he said was
pull them before the
he
next
doesn't
one.
fertilize it, you can't fertilize it because the well field's there, so it's a degrading quality hay, is what he stated.
Yeah.
I'm not a hay expert.
What did Billy say about the hay?
Because he can't fertilize it or make it better, it's a degrading thing, so it's just one generation after another reseeding itself, I guess. I'm not an expert in,
No, basically, you're
Agricultural
basically
hay.
making mulch hay.
Right.
You're not making high value.
Right.
You can't keep taking out and not put anything back in.
Right.
It goes downhill.
yep. So it's not high quality hay, it's,
Would he fertilize it if he could
he
fertilize
probably
it?
would have.
Huh?
He probably would have, but the well fields are behind that, so he hasn't. He never has.
And
I don't think-
planning on using it.
I don't think you'd have a problem fertilizing.
Yeah, you don't want, you're not
No.
putting nitrogen on the field right next to where you're gonna put a well.
Well, not like
I mean, that's-
cow manure or something, but a commercial fertilizer.
Commercial
like-
fertilizer is gonna be phosphorus, nitrogen.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to, this is something we needed hay because we need to keep it cut down. If somebody wants to give us something to pay to do it, and we get a little bit of revenue out of
Okay.
it, fine. Just tell them they get to cut it, and if they want to work out a separate deal with the school for the track, they can.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know who
I mean-
the school approached to do it in the first place.
I don't
It's the
either.
water
I have no
department.
idea.
Probably the track coach saw somebody out getting ready to cut it and
Well,
asked them if they cut
I
it
think what
correct.
it used to be, they used to run up the railroad tracks. And I think they used to come out, they used to go right straight up. But then when they were haying it, I think they cut across there or something.
Or maybe they don't want the kids running up.
Well, somebody got cut in there too. I know at one point they borrowed our metal detectors because somebody got cut through old metal or something when they were running the railroad track thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, regardless, we bid it, you bid it to cut it, and then if the school wants to work something out with them, we just care that it does get
Yep.
cut.
All right.
So we're gonna go out to bid.
I mean, I
So
think,
do I hear a motion?
I think, well, we've already voted to do that before, but I do think you have to, as soon as somebody else asks about doing it, now you've got, you kind
That's the
of
way I
have to
feel
open it
about
up. Because otherwise they'll look at it like you're giving something of value.
Right.
It is, that we're better off not getting into that and having somebody call and file a complaint. We're better off just doing it. I mean, chances are, they start really looking at it, it's not really great quality hay. I don't think that anybody's
Even
gonna
it's
be
worth-
all that interested in it.
It's worth
not a
more
lot
than
of money.
$60. It's,
How long's Billy been hanging it?
I think
20
since the
years?
water department bought it.
that doesn't give them
Probably
right
about-
to it.
Did I say that?
Well, you said how long has it been haying it, like
That's
in
a
the
question.
question. He has
I
That's a
can-
simple question.
So I can ask my parents because they actually had a purchase and sales on that property and the water department bought it and they lost money on that, the legal fees.
Well, I can
That's
tell
what we
you,
were
it's
told.
probably been more than 20 years
It's about
because we
20
paid
plus
for
years.
the 20-year mortgage and it's
Yeah,
been
they've
paid
been
off for quite a few
20
years,
plus
but I'd
years,
say
so yeah.
over 30.
It's just a strange coincidence.
This one here is 38, I think, this building here, and was before that. No, it's just after that, just after that. All right, special town meeting.
So I haven't heard back from, he's supposed to meet with me either this week or,
Mr. Gagny?
no, Tanner and Howard to give us a price on fixing the well field here.
Yeah.
And then that gives us a number for that, and it's whatever else you want on that meeting.
Do you have a number for leak detection?
So I have a rough estimate, so it's not actually on the thing, but I have.
Well, it's part of the budget.
Right, so we're part of Mass Rural Water, so I gave them a call, and under the Circuit Rider program, funded through the Agricultural Mass, USDA,
Yep.
where they're gonna come out Wednesday, Thursday, and do a leak detect in the town.
The whole town in 2 days?
So they said, I've cleared the schedule, so I don't care if it's a blizzard out there, if they come my guys and us will be out there with them to get it done.
Okay.
They haven't indicated that they're not coming yet, so in the snowstorm, I think it's supposed to happen tonight into tomorrow.
Are they
anyways.
trying to do it during the daytime?
Yeah, they're gonna be up on the hydrants, so they're gonna tag all of the hydrants, is what they're gonna do. I don't think they're going down into the gates.
Okay.
So that's how they listen, down in the hydrants?
Yeah, you can listen on a hydrant, you can listen on the gate. I've always gone to the gates because it's down and in there.
Because sometimes you put them on the hydrant, you leave them overnight. You like to do it when it's quiet, and sometimes people steal
Right.
it. And you lose a couple
I think
$1,000.
it's gonna be, we're gonna keep moving all day. They're gonna keep resetting and we're just gonna keep moving right around town.
Okay.
And they don't have to do it at night, huh?
No, I mean, this background noise, so if you do 2 checks, you can't have, I mean, the possibility of the truck going down the street or you going up to Roberts Way with a truckload of sand and coming back at the same time when we're listening again at Nil and Slim, so we should be okay.
So who is it through that we're doing it?
Mass Rural Water.
Mass Rural?
Yeah.
Rural.
Yeah, because we're
Well,
small.
it's for small, real small systems,
They
real
charge
small
them
towns
all,
that
is
don't,
that
they can't
No,
do
that's
stuff on
free.
their
We've been
own.
a member of them forever, I think. And they come around every now and then and say, oh, just they introduce themselves, but their classes they ever offer are free, but they're always out. You gotta get a hotel to go to the class.
Yeah, because they're
So
on
far out.
the, all your small
Western Mass.
communities are on the western part of the
Yeah, they're
state.
out towards
Up along.
Berkshires and they're way out.
Suggestion, when you're doing that, you get anywhere near the blow off, shut the blow off.
Yep.
I was thinking the other day that there's a couple of places, there's been so much water around that if, that could be masking a sound and you'd never see it come up because there's always so much water there.
Right.
So maybe if anytime you start getting near one of those, just
How many blowups do
temporarily
we
shut
have?
them off.
3 or 4?
I believe there's 4. So plane we can't use because there's a hole in the drainage system somewhere which dumps into somebody's septic system.
We can't believe the highway hasn't fixed that yet.
Well, they fixed something, but they didn't fix it.
So that blow off's closed.
So there's Pleasant Street, there's...
So when we need to blow
Yeah.
off dirty water, we can't. We used to run that all the time.
There's 4
4.
that are active.
One in front of Greta's,
Yeah.
and then there's one at the end of Pleasant.
Yep. And then you've got...
One in the river.
Forest Street, you've got both ends of Forest.
Both ends? Yep.
How long will it take them to get, or they're just gonna give you an idea as they're going? What,
Yeah, I
think
don't...
the suspect?
Yeah, I don't know until they come here. I mean, I've talked with them a little, but they're coming and we'll be ready for them.
Good. Maybe we'll get an answer soon. Now, on the budget for the special town meeting, when we budgeted for the new well, we put it in as a line
It's a
item.
line item.
Is it in this year's budget we're working on, or is it the year before?
No, we've carried 2 years. So currently we've spent 15,000 out of that 69,000. I'm trying to find it. There it is.
What line item? What
It's
number?
5300-02, but it doesn't, the way it works is kind of weird. It's there as a placeholder, but they actually take out a 5300.
I see,
You just
okay.
have to know that the other one's there.
So the 15,000, what did we spend?
So we actually started work with Station 1 before we actually had any money. So we carried through.
Oh, okay. So we spent some of that
Yeah. And he
to
had
get
the-
started.
And I think he's tagged us a little. I have folders on it so I can pull it out if we have to, but I have watched it.
Okay. Which we need to look at how much the contractors have paid into the, through the tie-in fees.
Yeah.
That was in that surplus, that we can transfer, not into that, not into a line item, but into a article for our regular budget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, we'll have to wait. If we don't spend any more, the difference between, you take the 15,000 off there, that'll be 55,000 no, 54,000 you'll have if we didn't spend any more of it, but you're not gonna get that back till next year because it won't fall out of surplus. So we're better off if we can get that 50-something thousand dollars worth of engineering done
Yeah.
before the end of this year, before June 30th.
Right.
Otherwise, we're not gonna get to spend that again until September when we get, and after that, September, we'll find out how much money we got to surplus, and then we gotta wait to get to a special town meeting to get to spend that surplus.
Yeah. Good. And he did try to meet with me during the Christmas weeks, but like I said at the last meeting, I was sick and I haven't taken really a sick day. Even when I tore my Achilles tendon, I think I missed one day. Well, I missed the whole week, so.
Then we got, at the end of the budget here, one of the numbers, the retirement, right? Retirement contribution. I see we budgeted to spend 181,000, but we've already spent 178,000.
Did he take that out? So I don't have an estimate, so I think he pulled that already.
So did he pull it for the whole year?
Yeah, that'll be the year.
Okay, that's not for a half a year.
No,
And that's not as of 12/27, then, that's for the whole.
He pulled
No,
the
he
whole.
pulled it. No, it was pulled beforehand.
Okay.
But I don't have estimates ready beside it, so that he.
No, I was just concerned that we spent twice what we figured.
Yeah, I know. No, it's not gonna double up.
Okay. And some of these other numbers seem artificially low, like you budgeted 13,000 for your road repair, but you only spent 2,100, where you've done a lot of road repair. You only spent 2,000?
Yeah, so from July till now, we were basically working with Station 1. So we didn't go out
okay.
for a lot of road work. I mean, we're turning the corner, and we're gonna start turning gates next year, so that would bring road work.
I know we always spent more in the springtime, but
Yeah.
it's just,
I've got the height.
that just seemed really low. And GIS, we only spent 560. We budgeted 7,000.
Yeah, but I'm gonna run the other line, the temporary, so I'm gonna run over my temporary salary line using her against that line,
Okay,
so that we keep updating the system.
okay. I just want to make sure that we're updating the system while we got the money in there. I don't want to fall behind.
Yeah, so it's there, but it really is being spent, it's just not being.
Right, it's gonna come out of the other line, you're not gonna see that one.
And the temporary salary is just about spent out. You spent 5490 out of 6,000.
Yeah,
But you're gonna keep running that and run that over.
yeah, and that should carry it through.
Okay.
If we're gonna be going through, looking to do something with money, the control valves on Manley Street, which you said.
So I've got all the pictures,
We
but-
wanna try to push that so we can try to get that done early?
Yeah, I've got all the pictures, because you have to have the tag. So the problem is, the tag that they're looking for, they paint it over, so it takes a lot to get that paint off without taking what's written on the tag off. I did that on last Friday, so I have them in my thing, but I was busy today. Tomorrow I should be able to, I'm gonna send it off and get a quote back for him for pricing to have spares sitting by, because I'm 2.5 weeks now, I'm waiting for that valve. And I haven't gotten a shipping notice yet. And at that, it's gonna be fun trying to get it in, because it's an 8-inch valve.
Yep.
It's heavy and it's fitting bound, so we're gonna have to break apart a few pipes to get it in.
But we're basically already over $5,000 over equipment repairs. Do we want to put more money into our budget to pay for that and for the other valves that you're afraid are gonna be going?
Yeah, so I'm not comfortable at this point when we're usually I don't, like, FinCom didn't understand, but I don't start spending if I don't have to until, once we get past like February, because now I know I've made it. July is only around the corner, but this year we've spent everything before December, and I've still got the springtime run coming up, so it's gonna be tough or close. I don't know if we'll make it. We may make it and we may not. I can't tell you what may or may not break.
Well, but if we know, I mean, those are items,
So I probably
those
should
valves
have
are the
them.
same age, basically, they all went in at
Right.
the same time. We should be looking to be able to replace those. If we know we have to spend it, we should put it in. I'd rather go in asking for more, for things we can identify what the
Right.
issue is.
And I should have a hard number by the time we meet again.
Perfect.
That should be done in an article, do you think,
Right.
in the budget?
Well, it shouldn't be a budget because it's, well, it's operating costs, but it's
Something special just for
Well,
that.
it's equipment repair for stuff that you need, or you could almost call it maintenance. It's something that you know is gonna fail.
I already know one of them is, it's not that far off, because we opened up all three and we could see one of them it's close.
Yeah, so if we're up at that point, rather than go, that's money we should have, we can say what it's for, but I'd rather see it just in,
So are you in favor of increasing the line item here for, let's see,
I mean, we're looking at, it's equipment.
It is
right?
equipment.
equipment replacement?
5243, we're already over by $5,400. We should add in the 8 grand, was it 8 grand you said for this valve?
So this valve is, yeah, it's $8,000.
We
The other
put
one-
in that, we put in the others that you think need to be done, that are, because we can't afford that plant to go down.
Yeah, I have,
So-
so I'll need to purchase.
But he's also wants to get more of those valves on here.
But I'm thinking put the first ones in, so that,
Right.
because it's,
The ones right
these are
now.
on one side of the plant,
Yeah, we haven't gotten hit with that cost yet. That's not in my line.
yeah, but the other side isn't, right? We have a similar valves, and
They're all the same, so I just need 3, 4s, 6, and an 8. So I need 4 valves, but they're pricey.
which one valve we're already buying, but it's
Right.
not in here.
Right.
So I think we take those, we put it in, and say, we're gonna have these, one other one is gonna have to be
Right.
swapped out. We put it in and buy them, and just say, look, we know this thing is happening now.
Right.
So you know another one's bad already?
Yeah, and Terry reached out and knows that Bridgewater had the same issue.
They did.
So we know it's that time, it's a design issue,
Right.
it's not like this was something unusual that failed.
Yeah.
So we need to get it. You're talking what, 20, so 8, we're over here
It's
into,
gonna be somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000. I'll know once I get the price out of them.
So we better build it into the budget because they don't last. Because you got a lot of them.
Yeah, there are a lot.
How many did you say we
I
got?
forget, I had to count last time, but I think there
We're
are
at
24 in
12,
the system.
yeah, but if we get this first, get this covered under here, and then we'll put it in, we'll put it into that line item going forward, and if they ask why it's so high, this is why, we have to replace.
Right. You can't, for some reason FinCom won't understand we're a fluid thing.
Yep.
I can't not fix it, or people don't have water.
Right.
And I can't say that it's gonna break, but I know it might break, and I have to have the money available to take care of it.
No, you know it's gonna break because Bridgewater's already had
Well,
them
no,
break.
but-
We already got 2 of
Yeah.
them broken. and-
We've had one break, we've had one that you've seen that you know is going, and we know it's a design issue for the plant because Bridgewater's got the same plant, and the same thing's happening
Right.
to them, what, a year early? They're
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah.
years older than us?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
it's not rocket science.
it's, we have to plan to replace that stuff. Same as you have to plan to do any regular. But,
Hydrant repairs, Wayne, we're up over on that one too.
So a hydrant costs more than that line, actually. A hydrant is $1,900, and then the parts on top of it. So one hydrant pretty much eats up the budget, so that,
So one hydrant's $2,500.
yeah, pretty much. when you take care of the fittings.
So what'd you do, at least 2 this year?
I bought 2 against that line. Because I didn't spend it last year and I didn't want to hear that it was gonna get removed because we didn't use it.
What's, I see you work on one on Ash Street, what's the story of that?
So that one just suddenly started leaking. So the gate box, we're gonna have to dig it up. The gate box is shifted and is on top of the nut, so we can't actually shut it down. But it started leaking last Friday. Yeah, we got called at like 3 p.m. Everything happens on Friday.
So what, are you gonna change that one out?
Yeah, we'll probably schedule the 2 that one next year. I have hydrants in stock sitting out there waiting to go. And guys waiting to be busy doing it, but not right
So
now.
what are you gonna do with that line item?
I just leave it the same, it's not,
2,500?
yeah.
Because he's also got pipes, meters, and fittings line item, he's got, what do you got, 25 or 30,000 on that, right?
Yeah, and we're not doing meters, well, we are doing meters, but not that many, so I should be able to buy a few against that line if it has.
Yeah, we never used to use, I never spent that on meters, I always used, unless it was a dire emergency, I used to use that just for replacement. When we did all the gate valves
Yeah.
around town, we replaced every single gate valve in town off that line item.
Yeah, one brass elbow is.
Because we weren't having leaks after we
Yeah, it
did
adds up.
corrosion
Yeah.
control. Where is that line item? What,
I think it's 5535.
Oh, no, this is the way it got put together.
Yeah, it didn't,
Yeah, from the last page.
oh, there we are.
State water tax.
and they did assess it. We've already paid it.
So you've only spent 5 grand on that line item and you've got 28,000?
Yeah.
On other years you spent
Oh, yeah.
34 to 40,000.
Yeah, because we were remetering the town. Brass is expensive, especially no lead brass is expensive.
Oh, you use that for the meters?
Yeah, you have, everything that's in the thing has to be no lead brass.
No, I'm just saying that you put your meters through that way.
Yeah. I didn't, but I have meters on order, they're gonna come out of that line.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't have an article for meters?
No, we cashed that all in to pay off the short-term debt. When we folded that in,
Okay.
we paid off, and that's the other thing, we have a, I don't have it here, because Scott said that there's a, I think it's a $50,000 payment that's, because he missed a year, there's $50,000 payment that either gets spread out over the life of the short-term loan, which I think it's 6 years left, or we pay it off in one sum.
He missed making a payment?
Yeah, on one of the short terms didn't get started on time or something, so it got carried over, and I hate the way they can carry money in stasis and then suddenly it goes to no, they bond out. That's how the whole hellstorm started.
And nobody's given you any numbers yet on what
No.
the mortgage payments are on all our stuff?
No,
Principal and interest?
no, our meeting with FinCom is, so we meet with the Board of Selectmen on March 6th, and you meet with FinCom on March 7th.
Okay.
So there's still a little time left, but those numbers coming out of town hall are usually slow, especially the retirement numbers and stuff. I think we usually get them at like the last second.
I don't know why they'd be late. They're all on a spreadsheet and they're sitting down there under
I think
somebody's
if I
computer.
asked Scott, he'd probably give them to me now.
I'm
I just
sure that
haven't gone and asked
they're
him.
all available. I mean, they get them when they write the bond or
Right.
they write the note.
And I'm pretty sure if I asked him, he'd give me those numbers now.
Well, why don't you ask them for them? Ask them for them so we can get an idea of where we're at sooner than later. You know, when you ask them for them too, you know, it's gonna take them some time. You can't get them to you right away, but
Yeah.
within a week or so. They haven't spent anything, they haven't taken any fleet insurance yet out, huh?
No, so I just estimated that out. That's why those are things that are hidden. He takes them at the last, sometimes he takes them at the last second, and so the budget's depleted. So that's why I put in, wherever I put in a fudge number, I put the estimated.
Doesn't look like we're gonna make it on our chemical budget. We got 115,000, what we got, we requested 120,000.
Yeah, they reduced that.
They reduced it, approved 115, we've already spent 72,608.
Yeah, we're not gonna make it.
We're not gonna make that for sure.
No, at our current rate, we're not gonna make it.
Well, if we find where 250,000 gallons a day are going, that'll cut down on how much chemicals we have to put into the water.
And electricity and everything else, repairs.
Yeah, electricity. If you look at the graphs, it was hard to see with the electricity, but it's up because we're always bumping between stations. But
No, but looking at the stuff, because the spreadsheets you sent were good, looking through the daily flows, it was almost like there were two separate things happening. You had one happen in January.
yeah, it actually began in January. That's when I looked at that. I'm like, hey, this because I wanted the ends to match, and they didn't match. I'm like, why? Because it began in January.
I know, it was about 145,000 gallons a day, but then about April 17th, it went from January 4th to 5th, it pretty much tracked even, about, it was higher,
Yeah.
and it was staying, and then all of a sudden it went up again
Yeah,
in like the middle of April.
right,
And that altogether is like almost 250,000 gallons
right.
a day. If we can knock that down.
April is, historically, has always been one of the bigger pumping months. Because it seems like everybody gets out in April, they start gardening and washing their driveways, washing their houses and stuff, you know? It seems just, you wouldn't think so, you'd think it'd be in July, but.
But they start using it soon.
They start using it in April, they really use a lot in May. But then as August, they get close to August, they kind of give up.
Yeah, but it never dropped.
No, it did.
That's what's killing it.
Well, it looks like it could be spreading.
Yeah, the base is staying there, which would be more like a leak that's getting worse or
Well, he's got the leak
something
detecting
else.
guys.
Yeah,
coming out.
that's good if they can find something.
Yeah.
Because it can't, I was trying to figure a way, it might have been the production meters or something, but the run times on the stations went up.
Right.
If the meter was wrong, the
The
station
run
wouldn't
times
run
would
more.
be less.
We're not billing nearly.
No, it's gotta be going somewhere.
What are the chances, I haven't dealt with a leak detection company, what are the chances they won't find it?
I don't know how these guys go with it, how
I
much of
won't know
it they
until
do.
I see them
Yeah.
and speak with them.
I mean, usually the companies we used to hire worked, I mean, they found stuff, but one thing they always did was go at night.
Yeah.
They did all this
do
stuff
that.
at night, when the pumps are off, there's no ambient other noise, and they're just running, they could, in fact, the ones they usually track, like from a tank, and work their way out, listening for stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the rural water agencies, they do a bunch of that stuff, so they might,
Right.
you know, so we'll see what they find. If they don't find it, we'll have to look further, because it's gotta be going somewhere. DEP will make us anyway.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna force us.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll know soon enough if they're able to do it. If they can't do it, you're gonna get a price from somebody else too, right?
Yes, then I'll
Yeah.
go out, I'll get you bid prices.
So we'll know by the end of the week, you think?
Yeah, I should, if they're gonna, because we have a really good GIS system, so he shouldn't have no problems getting dimensions or whatever else he might need. And I'm not sure how they're gonna do it, but yeah, I should know by Friday after they do it, or I'll at least know Thursday night after they leave, how long I have to wait for them to correlate their data.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but at least to get some other progress, because you guys work hard at it, it's just,
Yeah, we've already done correlations, but the guys that do it, they know what they're looking at. I mean, if the thing tells me it has a leak, the few leaks that it popped up and told me I had when I went back a second time just to check it out, then there was no leak.
So will you give us an email at the end of the week, if you think, of
Yeah.
it, just to give us some
Yeah, so I'll
results?
keep you informed.
So leak detection, I should even find if somebody's got a leak from the main to, from a curb stop to the house or a
Right.
building, right?
yeah, they should be able to hear.
No matter what it is, where it is, they should
They can stay under the road. It's not, we had a leak on Copeland Street that did stay under the road, but
There's a
it
drain line and drain off.
ran under the road. I don't know how it did it. And then like the Shell station, that service cut its way through. That had to have been cut for a long time and it finally popped up. And we did that one.
Where's that, up by 24?
Yeah. That was, you were here when that happened.
Where was it? Well, that's pure gravel, that's 40 feet deep.
Yeah.
That would disappear, plus we're sucking water out from the Manley Street well, so that's gonna lower, it's gonna suck it right down in
Right.
there. That's it. It's gonna take a while for that to show up.
As long as we're moving towards it.
It's on our minds every day. We
Yeah.
keep trying to think, we tested the end connections too. We put gauges on the things and closed it down and done flows to see if we're interconnected. We haven't found any interconnections, we haven't found anything.
I asked Wayne to put the different size heads on the wrong bases.
Yeah.
What did you come up with, Wayne?
I can't read it.
I thought it was
Those
gonna be
aren't
the other way around.
So if you put a 25 on it, so if you put a 170 on a 25, you get a 328% increase at a low flow. If you put a 25 on a 70, you get a 150% decrease. So they're almost offsetting.
Yeah.
At the fast flows,
Because that's what happened to Joni, our old secretary. She had a 5/8 meter.
yeah, I know.
We put the 70 head on, and she had a gigantic water bill, which she had lived there for years and years, never had. And we couldn't figure out why, and it was the wrong head. So that gave her a gigantic bill. If it went the other way, if you had a 1-inch base,
It turns that much that they're almost, they cancel each other out. They work in.
Yeah,
Yeah, but-
but it's not like we went out in January and changed all the meters that we were.
No, we had a whole year where we
Something
didn't change
happened.
meters.
well, that is one thing though, that's
Unless
one
somehow the
mechanical.
software. Well, the
Well, we
thing
haven't
is
changed
that
it. The good thing is-
on those meters, it say why it's unaccounted for from the building, but it still wouldn't say why we're pumping so much.
Right.
Why were we pumping 1,800,000? Did it drop off the next day?
Yeah, it went back down to normal.
So an 800,000 gallon serve.
1.8 million, yep.
On Christmas Eve.
And that got correlated with how much pumping you were actually running.
Oh, yeah.
We weren't overflowing a tank or something, were we?
No, we didn't check that. I even switched to so the little tank fills faster because we're pushing that much water at it now. So I noticed that when I was sitting there, we went out and listened and it didn't, but I switched controls now so we operate off of the little tank, which fills faster. So we get a quicker cycle time, but it's still, that way I don't have to worry about that might be an issue, and it's not. Because we did stand out there and listen to it.
How far down does that keep the bigger tank from filling?
Probably about a foot less.
That's not a lot.
No, but the little tank is so much smaller in diameter that it could get up near the top, so rather than risk it, I can run off of the little tank, I'm doing it. Let's see if I actually put it in there. Yeah, there it is on the 23rd. 1.848.
It almost looks like it should be a typo.
And you were 1.1 on either side of it, so it wasn't like we were making up for anything.
And on Christmas Eve.
And that's when we had the PLC. So we were actually running manual from that point on until we got to the Tuesday, Wednesday.
It's a lot of water for winter time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of water for
It's a lot,
summer.
period.
Yeah, for us, that would be a good summer. And people don't water
that much in the
anymore.
summer.
We would if we could, but they don't anymore. The residents have kind of cut back because you're putting drinking quality water on your lawn. It's expensive. Doesn't stain your house or your fences, but it's expensive to do.
So we discussed the special town meeting budget. We looked at the current budget, 2020 budget. You got something more to add, or you?
Well, I made one up, but I basically I didn't look at this year because I'm hoping it's an anomaly and goes away, but I'm not sure it's gonna.
So that, you didn't give us a copy of that one?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's this one.
Oh, okay, so we're in this other column. Yeah. So what did you base your increases in your numbers on, based on?
I looked to see if in the past, and even I have a spreadsheet that shows me all the years moving forward to see what we've spent.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like the office line item always seems to be increasing, so I'm always trying to stay ahead of that. I think this year we might get ahead of it. Because the machine rebels by locking up every morning.
Do we need to increase for road repairs with that new road repair agreement?
So,
Well, we're gonna own it for that, do we wanna say, you know, we need to put that up higher because we're gonna be looking at potentially going?
no, it shouldn't. It's based on our repairs, and I can't tell how many repairs I'm gonna have in a year, because we're not, the only place that I'll probably lay a new main is on, what's the street right in front, Willow, because we've done 3 repairs there now, so in the spring, we'll just put in some 2-inch plastic and redo all of that. It's a gravel road, so we're not gonna hurt anything. We'll be off to the edge on top of that. And then hopefully, and there's already a tap existing that we can tie into so we can run it and get it certified, and then just jump everybody over.
Yeah, we ran that 2-inch over there a long time ago.
Yeah.
When they did 28, they
Yeah.
wanted us to do any water mains, and that's run over and shut off over there.
Right, so, and even if somebody, it's 2-inch pipe, the pipe doesn't cost a lot, and it's our man hours, yeah, that costs us something, but we're here anyway, so we should be able, we did it there, I think we laid 500 and something feet, we did that in 3 days. So,
How did you do that? Did you give them temporary water up there?
no, we ran beside it.
But how did you turn it on without chlorinating it?
We tapped in, but we didn't remove the old one until the end.
Yeah, you chlorinated it, tested it, was okay, and then you
Yeah,
turned
and
it
then
on.
we jumped everybody over. Because you can't any other way. We ran it beside it, it was a parallel main. We tapped it in separately and kept the old one live.
Oh, I see.
We cut it off at the end.
Oh, okay. Then your pressure tests are chlorinated
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah, once it was good, then we jumped everybody over.
Yep.
We're not a lot, but we're a department that physically touches everybody in this town daily. Nobody understands that. Physically, we touch you.
When the water stops showing up, they'll realize that.
No, we can't let the water stop showing up. Whatever we do, we have to make sure.
Well, they keep building houses and we can't find a leak.
We're gonna have to find out if DEP's gonna come down on us with like a ton of bricks.
Well,
We
they'll,
can't have that kind of unaccounted for water that we've been running.
no, they won't allow it.
No, I mean,
And they'll come down on
Double the
us,
building.
and they'll come down on us with restrictions too. So.
yeah, and forget getting another source. If we're
Yeah, they
pumping
will.
that much water that we're not selling, there's no way in hell they're gonna let us sink a well. So, I mean, help fix the leak. What this is, that's basically getting a big improvement.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Well, it gives
It's a
me
lot
some
of
breathing
water.
room.
Yeah. I mean, you're holding it together as best you can in every way, which way you can keep things going, but you can't do that forever either. Something,
Yeah.
sooner or later, something critical is gonna go.
Right. Well, yeah, I've been fixing them.
Well, you run out of either the parts or the time or the...
So, on the line item there for the new well, we're gonna move that into an article, right?
Well, that's what I'm asking. We've carried it now 2 years.
Yeah, I think we're better off
As a budget
moving it into an article, because if we don't spend it, it takes too long to get it out of it. What do you guys think?
That's 69,000?
item. Yeah. So if we can get them this,
Yeah.
we'll try to get a lot done this year to get it out.
Yes, spend as much as you can, then
You
we'll
should
put it
open up
on
an article, see if we can get a budget estimate.
I am in a meeting.
To figure out what it costs to go forward.
We should be able to get a budget, you know, tell them it's,
Right.
we need it to put it in.
Well, you want to make engineering dollars off of
Yeah,
us, you've got to
then
give
you've
us a
gotta-
number so that we
Yeah.
can have money available.
See, once you put it in an article, it can go for years. It just
Yeah.
sits there and you can add to it. It's just
I
like.
know,
blocking
I've
it.
done that on the wastewater side, up by
Yeah.
the senior center.
It works better.
It just sits, it's like having money in the bank and you don't
Yeah,
have to
the
keep.
reason why David Gagnon wanted to do it that way, because he said, and I don't know why, because we never had to do it before, but we had to list every single lot that we were gonna do any work on, if we were gonna look for water around town.
Okay.
In the article, we had to read, and we didn't know where DEP was gonna make us look, so we would have to,
Oh, why you have to do that for the study part?
we never had to do it in the history of looking for water, but all of a sudden, David Gagnon said it was the law. So he said we couldn't put an article together and not do it that way, which we've never done it in the history of West Bridgewater, so I think it was a bunch of baloney.
Maybe we did it wrong.
Maybe he's wrong.
Well, either way,
Either way,
that's what we need to do, and
Yep.
we're still moving forward.
Well, we'll make it as an article and we'll find out from somebody in the state and find out the way we could do it. Anything else on those budgets?
No, do we have those demand projections yet from Taylor and Howard?
That's why I was hoping,
I'd like to have that so we can have, again, to try to come up with a few things that we can tie into
yeah,
water to tell them this, you know, we're pumping more, we're gonna be pumping more, we've got things like this coming in, it's gonna be pumping more.
right.
We need more for things like electricity, chemical, you know, just anything we can to justify
Right.
increasing. You know, when you, stuff's not gonna get cheaper.
No. The only thing different in the labor line, I added in a salary for a part-time, full-time, 30-hour technician. I don't know how it's gonna affect what the town tells us yet.
What line item number?
So that's up to the town.
5113,
Yeah,
first page.
Yeah, under labor.
So we're going another 53,000.
yeah, about that. And if you take the 69 out of our budget, then it kinda cancels out.
So that's in a 30 and you're not gonna, you don't have any thing covered overtime or anything, and what, any other items, not like the retirement stuff don't go up because you had.
No, because we're supposed to be self-funded at this point. Like, Rick was a legacy employee. I'm not. They take extra money out of me, so when I retire, supposedly what's supposed to happen, when I retire, I come off the books and I'm gone. Legacy employees hit the books, they stayed on the books, but we're all done with them.
What are you talking about?
So like, when I got hired, they take extra money out of me now.
Well, they used to do that when the
Yeah.
guys before me, they used to pay 5%.
Yeah, I'm
and I
paying,
was paying 6 or 7,
yeah,
and then they went up to 8, I think, after that. And
Right.
you probably paid around 10.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
gone
so-
up, it's,
But I mean, you'll never pay in enough to
What I've been told is-
support your retirement.
supposedly what I've been told is when I retire, between whatever and whatever, I'm not supposed to hit the books.
You will hit the books for
Somehow
sure.
or other, you have to.
You have
They're
to,
supposed to be fixing that.
unless you die within a year, because they're gonna pay you. They're gonna pay you more in a year than you paid in your lifetime.
Well, I'm doing pretty good, so don't count me out in a year.
No, but as far as like, 'cause town meeting approved versus next year's request, things
Right.
like,
He won't give me those numbers until near the end.
all right, and he doesn't know that you've got, that you're increasing, because like things like
I have-
retirement, workers' comp, that stuff all goes up
Right.
based on the amount of labor.
I have-
So that's going to go up if we
Yes.
get the approved, all right, that's,
Yeah, overtime has to go up. You put on new labor, when the guys have a leak, you're gonna have, overtime's gotta go up. You gotta go up. If you got 5 guys, it's gotta go up by 1/5.
So currently I went above anyways because right now I didn't know when the new flushing program was gonna hit and I didn't know how much it would increase it. So that line item is,
No, but what I'm saying is, every one of the line items,
Yes.
you're gonna have to increase for life insurance,
Yeah.
you have to
Yes.
increase everything for that one more person. It's not just the labor.
yeah, but that- like you said, that has to come from town hall, and they haven't done it yet. These numbers are
Right.
based on last year's labor.
yep,
Right. No, but
Overtime
I'm just
shouldn't
saying.
change, because if he's 30 hours part-time, you're not
right, he
gonna
wouldn't
give him
reach
overtime.
40, right, 10 hours. And if he did reach overtime, it would be minimal.
The life insurance line item's pretty low,
Yeah, I think he just rebid that too. He did something with one of the things. Or maybe it was the
Nobody's
vehicles. Oh, it
insured
was
for
the
that much
vehicles.
on life insurance. I think the employees are only covered for 10,000. And they pay half the premium. They used to be, that's what it was.
Yeah, I don't know what they do because I have my own
And-
extra above and beyond it.
Yeah, I would say, because that wouldn't pay for much.
No, it was just enough to bury it, that's about it, the 10 grand. And then when you retire, when you're more likely to die, they drop it to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because more people are getting cremated now, it doesn't cost as much.
Yeah, my kids told me they'll bury my money with me. They're gonna write a check and put it in the thing with me.
Nice kids.
So I can take it with me.
Tell them, that's all right, I'll spend it all first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend it before I go.
If I can go down a pumping rate, then this budget works. It's,
Yeah.
other than I've gotta figure out about the mandatory valves and stuff like that.
Well, so I think that we add in the most critical ones in this one for the special town meeting, to add to this budget, and then pick all the rest of them up, and we'll throw them in and plan to buy them, put them on a shelf, and replace them as needed in the 2020.
Yeah.
Which, as long as we
If I
can
can
get
get
it
it down
done.
to one at a time and I have a spare in stock, then I'm good.
Yeah.
It's not, but if this happened during summertime, I'd be missing a lot of water.
Yeah, but I'd rather have the money to buy them as they go. You obviously,
Right.
not necessarily you buy them, you
Yep.
keep them on the shelf here, but you'd have the money in your budget to buy them as they go,
Yeah.
without hurting one of your other items. 'Cause it's not cheap, those valves.
No, they're not.
But we have to have them, each waiting 2.5 weeks. We don't want to have one go in the summer when you're.
Oh, no, we want to have like one on the shelf, but not 3 or 4.
Right.
One of each side.
One of each size, they're all different. That's the problem. There's 2 or 3 different sizes.
Yeah, so we put that money in and
Yeah.
Yeah.
spend it right off the bat, so they can't come back and say you're not spending the money, because you just
Right.
Right.
put it in it, and it sits until we need it.
Yeah, I should have, at the next meeting, I should have that conversation actually before then. As soon as I print out the pictures and read the tags.
Okay, so, under old business here, let's go back to new business. We never approved the minutes from the last meeting. Has everybody read
Didn't
those?
approve it without me?
No,
I didn't notice any issues when I read the one that you emailed, so.
I'm fine with them.
I'm
I
fine
make a
with it too.
motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It was a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
It was a long one.
Actually, it wasn't that long though. We must have just spoke fast. I'll have espressos for you guys next time.
Spoke fast, but we covered a lot of ground.
There was one little spell, just a spell.
Yeah, there's like a spelling thing, but it wasn't anything that
Instead of
changed.
gong, it says gong, I think, instead of,
If I, when I'm reading stuff on the screen,
it was just,
I don't pick up
it's
stuff.
not
I'll see it
anything to
from
do with the
reading
meeting,
on
it's
print it
just
out
one little
on the
thing.
computer screen,
Right.
like my eyes don't.
I know.
I forget where I saw it. I was gonna circle, it's on the last page.
It wasn't anything that made a major difference.
No, we didn't change the minutes at all. That's why I didn't say anything. I just noticed it.
Smith, third paragraph, or second full paragraph down, the new 40B gong up on Belmont Street.
Gone, instead of going, it says
That's
gone.
on the last page.
Yeah,
Last page, second paragraph down from the top. I said, I never noticed, I didn't notice that when I was reading it on the computer.
I thought it was a gong show.
It's not, doesn't really need to be changed.
No, that's, typos are,
Sometimes it's fun to read. And a boring thing.
yeah, but 10,000 gallons a day. Wonder how they come up with flow for that place, because just under 10,000 means they're doing it to stay.
Well, that's why I sized it that way.
To stay on the septic instead of the groundwater discharge.
Yeah.
But yeah, just make sure when you talk to Tate and Howard, you want them to estimate what we can give them in, you know, again, 25 pounds.
Right.
Absolute lowest pressure on
And if
the
a
street.
system upgrade is needed, a different main, that we can throw it back in a 40B.
Well, see, that's the thing, he tells us what we can provide. If he says he needs to pull more, then we tell him we need this new
Well,
pipe.
if it affects our system adversely, we can say if you want to do it, you've got to upgrade something.
So if his fire pumps kick in, it adversely affects everybody above him.
Everybody.
It depends on what kind of pumps you put. If they're pumps pumping out of a
Well,
tank.
no, that's the thing, that's why he's talking about a tank. If you
Right.
fill that tank and that tank supplies the pumps, we shouldn't see it at all.
Right.
It's just when they refill the tank.
Right.
But, you know, that's, you know, if they look at it and it requires to be protected from freezing and everything else, it might be worth it to them to pay for us to put in some pipe
Yeah, because
instead.
the Lowe's tank was.
For him to put the pipe in our, is it? For him,
Well, for him to pay for the pipe, you know, however we work it out. But
We
for
can-
them to pay for the pipe.
under 40B approval, we can push him for some system upgrades before we approve it. We can
Yeah.
look for that.
Well,
And it's cheaper for him sometimes to put the pipe in than us, because we have to put it in under
Yeah.
prevailing wage, and he can pay regular wage.
But that's why I wanted this for the Scotland Street project.
yeah.
We couldn't do any kind of analysis. We didn't have anything to go on to see how it was going to affect the system.
Okay, so under old business, we already discussed the valves at Manley Street.
Yeah.
So the upper Copeland Street,
So I reached out to our Shannon Chemicals and the technician, so the last time I tested, which was last year, when I went to mail the package back, I knew where it came from. So it was like a residential address, so I Google Earthed it, and I'm like, it's going to a house, so I called the company. The guy is basically semi-retired, but he does the chemical analysis for him, and he's really smart. So I've already spoken with him. Today I pulled raw and treated water samples from all of our stations, because he needs that. He's indicated that we're already putting enough C5 into the system, if not more. We have excess out there. If you put too much excess, you strip it. So he says we're good right now, wait until we do the chemical analysis, and maybe it's a chemical change. They offer all sorts of polyaltophosphates. It's not just, they don't have just one chemical, they have a whole slew of them, depending upon what we need. So right now I tested today, so we'll wait for the results to come back from the lab, then I'll send them off to him with our pumping rates and then he'll come back at me and tell me whether we're putting enough or not. Plus he'll be able to read, plus he'll give me sample jars and he'll test how much orthophosphate is out in the system.
Did you take a sample from that area where the problem is?
No, I didn't, but I can grab one tomorrow. I can send it.
Grab a sample from up there, let's find out how much is in that area.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem there. You're not having a problem anywhere else, so obviously something's
It
going
has to
right
come out of
there.
the treatment plant, so I started there. But yeah, I can grab bottles, it's only gonna be one day later than the other.
Because if you find that it's, you're putting it out high everywhere else and it's high around town, but up there in that section, all of a sudden it's low, something's fluky. Because it should be the same all the way around town. So let's look at it, let's find out, because there's gotta be a reason why they have dirty water and nobody else does. So let's find out, that's an important question.
Yep.
Let's see what's in there. Anything else on that?
Nope.
Have they still been calling?
I did hear from them and I asked them, so the calls have been coming through a middleman and I asked her to have them call the office directly so we can stop logging it. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And I think that they will, I hope.
Okay.
Don't go away, keep, been nice and I keep trying. And I'll reach out to them when I sample tomorrow.
Does anybody else have anything to bring up?
I just want to make note, the next meeting scheduled for the 21st, but it's a holiday. So when we did the meetings for the year, I scheduled it for the 22nd on a Tuesday.
Okay. So we're gonna meet on the 22nd on Tuesday instead of the 21st.
But it's still gonna be the same bat time and same bat place?
First is too many holidays.
Are we not President's Day? Or is that?
Martin Luther King Day, right?
President's Day is in February then, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so by that time we'll have some information from Tatum and Howard on one.
Yeah, I'll prod them on other projects so that I have tons of information to expound upon you.
Assuming they give it to you.
Yeah.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
You all set, Tony?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Aye. Aye.